Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. Welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help and like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there as a community. We can talk about all the things that we love. Today on Throwback Thursday, we're looking at Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I don't know about other kids back in 1992 when this came out, but for me and my brother, this was probably the most anticipated movie of our lives. I can't think of any other movie that was waiting to see when I was a kid that age. Now, I know the movie more or less suffers from sequel-itis because it's in a different location, but the same things happen, but they're all slightly different. Yet, this still is a hilarious movie, and the fact that Tim Curry's in this is just like icing on the cake. He's kinda a villain? It's kinda weird. For whatever reason, he's suspicious of Kevin from the very beginning, and his suspicions are correct, because technically the card Kevin uses at the Trump Plaza is stolen. I use air quotes because it's his dad's credit card. I guess that's still stealing, but he's 12. Like usual, I get ahead of myself. So this time, Kevin makes it all the way to the airport with his family. I keep on missing things. Another huge thing that came out in this year was what was the recording device that Kevin used in Home Alone 2?
Talkboy. According to Wikipedia, the Talkboy was originally conceived as a cassette recorder and player prop for the 1992 film Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Did you get that? Yes, the Talkboy. Again, I'm not sure about every kid, but I know I wanted one. I didn't get one. That's okay. I'm sure I got something really cool that Christmas anyway. But it was the most advertised toy in that year. I guarantee it. And it had the weirdest commercial to it. I'll see if I can find it and link it below. Anyway, in the airport, his Talkboy is out of batteries, and he has to put new ones in, and there's batteries in his dad's carry-on. And that's how they get separated, because he's constantly trying to fill in the battery, and then he sees a guy that looks like his dad from behind, and he follows that guy. And he gets on the wrong plane. Family's going to Miami, and he's going to New York. Now, my one gripe with this movie is there's a lot of filler in this. The first one is only an hour and a half, hour, 35 minutes, something like that. This one's 2 hours, and it really doesn't need it. I didn't mention this in the first review, but I'll mention it here because it's part of the filler. In the first review, there was this old man that would shovel and salt the sidewalks in the neighborhood, and his older brother Buzz made up this horror story about the guy, and each time Kevin saw him, he ran away until they met up in church and they have a scene. Well, they do the same thing with a homeless woman who has the lamest reason for being homeless, but they also do it with a guy that owns a toy store, kind of. He's scared of the homeless woman, he's not scared of the toy shop owner, but they both have moments together, and both send the same message. If I were directing this, I would have taken out the homeless woman completely. Her story for being homeless, she was in love with a guy, he fell out of love with her, she's homeless! Yeah, having a guy break your heart is a reason to stop working, being responsible. I would take it out for those reasons, because if you think about it, it's a pretty bad message. Oh, my heart got broken, so I can't do anything. I'll just live with the pigeons in New York. Dumb. That would have saved at least 15 minutes of the movie. Now, this time, I didn't realize this until this viewing, but the uncle that the family was going to go see in Paris in the first movie is apparently away in Paris this movie, and they live in New York. Kevin knows this because dad's like address book, yes, those are a thing, it's in the address book, and so he knows that it's under renovation, which, again, I'm picking up all these things, I guess as an adult. I never realized it. They just look like an abandoned house. You watch the movie, there's like gigantic holes in the middle of the floor. If this is under renovation, I would fire these contractors because they're screwing up my house. It's still Harry and Marv, and they're going to be robbing the toy store. Kevin, he bumps into them a few times, and he learns that their plan is to do that, and so he sabotages them, and he takes them to another house of horrors. And it's just as hilarious, if not more so in some ways, than the first one. Probably because this one lasts a little longer. I didn't realize that in the first movie, part where Kevin's defending the house and they're going through it, I think it's a little shorter than the second film. I don't know. Somewhere on YouTube, so I'm guaranteeing that there's someone who figured that out. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern still work awesome together as a comedic duo. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but there are times where it looks like Marv is dancing like Michael Jackson because he's in some kind of a trap or something. Like there's one where there's greases on the floor and he's trying to keep balance and he does one pose that to me looks like Michael Jackson. I have no idea if that's done on purpose, but I find it hilarious, and that's what I put it. Even though some of the pranks in here are the same, they one-up them. For instance, Harry's head gets lit on fire again, and he tries to put it out, and he finds a toilet. But Kevin put kerosene in there, and so this huge flash. They saw the outside of the house, and this huge flash because it is a firebomb. This is also more cartoony than the first one because these guys are surviving things that Marv should be dead. Okay? Marv should be dead. The first thing he confronts him with when they get to the house are bricks from like a 30-foot tall building. He throws 4 bricks and all 4 of them hit Marv in the head. He should be dead. But we're working on cartoon logic in this movie, and it's just hilarious. I'm gonna leave it there. I didn't give all the pranks away. It's still hilarious. Let me know in your comments below your thoughts on Home Alone 2. I highly recommend you do get it on Blu-ray. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. Really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and live your imagination.